Hunter Cook, Dean Basilia, Jonathan Rodriguez, best of the best, TexasHighSchoolFootball.com. First subject, game of the week, Allen versus San Angelo Central. What's going to happen? Hunter, go ahead.
It's a strange situation because we want to look at these teams and say, like, oh man, like someone has a clear advantage somewhere. But looking at them holistically, I really don't think there is. If there is any one advantage in terms of skill, size, speed, it's actually on the side of San Angelo Central with Adam West, the Batman namesake, who is 6'8" as a wide receiver for San Angelo Central. Now, obviously, he's not like the fastest guy on the field because, I mean, this is San Angelo Central and Allen. No one's the fastest guy on the field. But this is a guy who is a matchup problem for people.
I honestly believe that Allen defensively has the schematic or the schemes in order to help prevent any type of real possible, even though the physical matchup is there on San Angelo's part. I just think Allen is just too smart of a team and that they will be able to contain it. And also that Brock Sturgis is a great running back for Allen. He's able to just cut up the field and cut around it, whatever he has to do in order to get the yards, he can do it. And Allen just has an amazing offensive line from what I've seen.
San Angelo has outscored Allen by over 100 points this year total. So, I mean, that's got to say something right there. And they've given up about the same amount of points. I think Allen's given up 20 less points, which is, I mean, minuscule over the whole season. But 100 points, that's a decent amount. So, I mean, you got to go – I don't know if it's considered an upset, but, I mean, San Angelo winning, is that an upset to most people?
I really don't think it is. I think there's a lot of people that are looking at San Angelo as a team that can win this game and not only win it, but win it handily. I mean, it's in San Angelo. There are people lined up at 1:30 a.m. for these tickets. This is a huge game, not just for the city of San Angelo, but for all across West Texas. Like, I've seen people trying to say, like, why is this being hyped up? I mean, it's just something it's not. It's because this is Allen.
You know, you're going to see, and we've seen this point hit repeatedly throughout the week, is just how will this Allen team travel? Like, how much is that, that drive going to affect them?
See, I'm with you there, Jonathan. I think Allen is going to travel really well, and I don't think that will be a factor. I think it will be more of a factor that San Angelo Central is playing at home more than Allen has to travel. If we can separate those two entities, San Angelo Central at home, the angry orange. I was there once this season, my first time being at San Angelo. Man, they packed the house for their fourth straight district title, something they had already done, and these people were going ballistic.
Who do you all predict is going to win this game?
San Angelo Central by 3, 38-35.
We're going with San Angelo Central too. I don't have a score, but I just think they'll win.
Give me Allen. I'm going with the score of 42-38.
Do we think that the winner is going to win the state championship?
Winner of this one will probably play the Woodlands eventually. Wow. And the Woodlands is no slouch either. And the playoffs is less about which team is better and more about which team is healthier, which team can survive a war of attrition.
If this was D2, then you could probably make that argument a little bit better, like saying that the winner of this game has a better chance of winning the state championship. But D1 this year is just so tough. Like Hunter said, you probably have to face the Woodlands later on, and then you got to face either the winner of Region 3 or Region 4, which is either going to be Katy, North Shore, or Lake Travis, or Westlake. So you got to face one of them as well. So you still got 3 tough games after this.
As much as, I think the world revolves around Dallas-Fort Worth because where I'm located, of course, there are some outstanding teams coming from the Houston area. Dean mentioned you have Katy and the Woodlands who are just right there, just waiting to pounce on whoever's coming from the opposite region in order to have their claim on the state title. Granted, I still think Allen's going to win, but, it's going to be tough.
So the field is narrowed from the second rounds. What are your expectations for the third round now that the games are going to be so close as we go further and further into the postseason?
I think there are going to be some teams that really haven't played anyone or have had an easy route so far that are just going to get absolutely exposed. I'm not going to say who because it's kind of a jerk move to talk about teams like that, and because honestly, I don't know who they are myself.
If the matchup happens in 2 weeks, you could have like Travis and Westlake again, and late Travis absolutely destroyed Westlake.
My biggest takeaway from round 3 is the rematches that we're going to see. You look at 4A D1, you have a matchup between Levelland and Andrews. And their last game was a 77-76 overtime win for Levelland.
Quick correction, that was Andrews. Andrews won. That overtime.
Yeah, Andrews won. So shout out to Scott McDonald, who released a great article on them, by the way. Dick Gerber right now has 73 touchdowns in the season, which is the single season in-state record. And he's coming off a game where he threw 6 touchdowns against Decatur, where they won 83-72. So that's going to be a great matchup, and maybe Levelland might get the win this time against Andrews.
If we do not talk about Cedar Park and Manville, then we are 100% absolutely wrong here. This is a matchup of titanic proportions in 5A. The only reason that it's being beat out for the game of the week by all the publications, us included, is for the storylines out of West Texas and DFW. I mean, this is Cedar Park, who hasn't lost a game since 2014, and Manville, who has been on fire.
Moving on to college. Which coach has the biggest chance of being fired? Is it A, Charlie Strong, B, Cliff Kingsbury, or C, Jim Grove?
Charlie Strong's gone already. Kingsbury should be fired. And Jim Grove, I mean, people were like, oh, like they were so surprised that Baylor was undefeated. You know, this late in the season, all of a sudden, like they had this collapse, and like their record is kind of what people thought it would be at the beginning of the year over the whole season. But now they're surprised that this is happening, so he should be fired. But
Jim Grove was hired to be fired.
Yeah, I mean,
he was hired with the intention of being replaced.
I was just going to say that Jim Grove, I think if Seth Russell would have remained healthy, you know, granted, he's only been out 1 game, and they had to start a true freshman last week. But I think, Dean was on the money with that one. I think 7 wins would have helped Jim Grove at least get some type of contract, you know, talks, maybe like a 3-year deal or something like that. But you dropped 4 straight games, and as Hunter mentioned, he was there to be eventually replaced. And of course, all the reports just supposedly zooming in on Chad Morris, even though he claims he's heard nothing from Baylor whatsoever.
As we play the most perverse game of all time, the ones that play with my feelings, let's go out and say this right now. Cliff Kingsbury has a $9.4 million buyout. He is not going to get fired. That is too much for a school, and especially for a school like Texas Tech, who does not have the historical clout that an LSU, a Texas, or a Notre Dame does. And Notre Dame is firing Brian Kelly.
First of all, why does Cliff Kingsbury have a $9.4 million buyout? Is he worth so much?
True question, yeah.
We signed him to a stupid, huge extension after the 2013 season because we saw the potential and we knew he would be a work in progress. That was something that was
definitely in progress.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, and that was something that was understood by Kirby Hocutt from the beginning, and we thought was understood by the Texas Tech fan base